Okay guys, so we got about 2 minutes, so I'm just letting some people drop in and say hello. If you are viewing us today, then just put us, me, then come on and just put hello on there or something, give us a shout out. While I'm working through stuff here, feel free to ask questions inside the chat. And this is our ZenStream where we're looking at doing a live build. So we started this project for Carol and we got through a certain part of it, and now we're on to the kind of last part, which is like the remaining blocks on the page. So I've made a few little changes. I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Got Carol here. Hi Carol, good to see you. So we are proceeding with your site. So what I did for Carol, because it's Ellie. Ellie's here as well. Wow, this is great. Okay guys, so last time we looked at it, we didn't have the font installed. So now I've put the font in. So I've managed to find the playlist script font and converted it to what's called a WAF file from a TrueType font, and I've put it in there. So now we've got the correct font, you know, the kind of scripty font that Carol's got in hers. So when this is finished, I will be supplying Carol with a complete kit to be able to take what I've done here and put it into her site. So with the font pack as well. So she's going to have the lot. So she is a lucky bunny today. And we're going to have a look at what we've done. So I'm going to show you quickly about the font parts of things, and that way it will be clear where that is, just to show you guys. And we're also going to just recap on what we've done so far and compare it to Carol's site as well. So I'm going to jump into my screen share options here. So you can see in this test site that I've got set up, you can see here I've installed this playlist font. So this is the one that we want down here, which is the script font here. So if we look at Carol's site here, we can see that we have this scripted font here, and we did a check on that. So I just did a little inspect. This is using Chrome, by the way. So I just went right hand click, went down to inspect, and then on the right hand side you've got this little tab that comes up here. Just click that and you can mouse over some of the elements. It tells you a little bit about them, like font 56, playlist script. So that gave me the font that I needed. Okay, so I could go down to there, that's Open Sans, and that's Open Sans in there, which we've got in the system, or I've picked Poppins, which is pretty similar and gives me that kind of look. So this is her font, this is her site as we've got it. The color I had for the gradient last time was a little bit off, so I actually took this gradient background, which is generated by code. Okay, Carol let me know that, so she didn't have a background image, so I just did a conversion from this, okay, which I'm not really going to get into. So let's have a look at this. So this is her site as we've got it at the moment. We worked our way down through these blocks. We created that block there, and then we had these simpler blocks down the bottom with this background image. Now Carol, you can just put your background image in there if you like. Anyway, we had these little carousels. I'm not going to do these because it's a little bit fiddly inside Zenler, but you can do something similar. And I know Carol said that she doesn't want it exactly the same. She just wants that kind of look and feel about it. So we got some effects coming up as well. You can create these effects, by the way, inside Zenler. You can have it, but you have to set on the timings. So I'm going to avoid doing anything too complicated. So we're down to this bottom block here. So let's have a look. And by the way, Carol, don't know if you noticed, but you've got a little line appearing here. So that's in your WordPress site. Okay, so you might want to look at that. On our Zenler site, we haven't got that. So I'm going to jump across to the version that I've got that we've converted. So we've done our conversion. So look at that. So there's a few little things, little tweaks I've made. I've inserted Carol's logo into here, and I used a little bit of CSS to change the size and bring this down, which I'll share with you, Carol. But it's still, you know, it's still the same. So we've got that top color, it's represented there, and we got that mouse over color. And now we've got this, which is in this correct color to yours, notice. And down here, it pretty much follows what you've got as we go through. So you got this down here, and then we got this block at the bottom, and now we're ready to sort of carry on with that. So that's where we're kind of up to. And so what we'll do now is we'll start to work on this bit here, we're going to use the same buttons. All of this is going to be really quick because it's just one column and it's centered then left, so it's a nice easy one to carry on with. All right, are you okay with that, guys? And have you tried, Ellie, have you tried playing around with these kind of bits in your site? So Ellie and Carol were with us last time. This is Carol's site and she's in here. So ask questions as you go through, but I'm going to, if you want to tell me how you're getting on. I'm going to jump into this now and we're going to just jump straight down here, and I'm actually going to take this block, and you'll notice that where I can, I try to duplicate blocks. So because I know that this is kind of the same as this, I could duplicate it. Why do I want to make life harder for myself? So I'll just click duplication there, and now we will have a duplicated block down here, which I'm going to push to the bottom because it's on the bottom block. So I'm going to go right down here to this bottom area here. By the way, these lines do not show when it's previewed. And then I'm going to delete certain parts out. So I don't want this. I don't want this block. I want to jump to Carol's site here. I want to put it into the correct font now, which is the playlist. So I'm going to click that little gear icon where we've got it as Tarpism. I'm going to change that to the playlist. So if you come down here now, once I've installed that custom font, you're going to see under playlist that you've got it. Playlist scripted. If I click that now, it's gone into the correct font. Now I can just put that in there, and I don't need this block because it's one row across here. So I'm going to take this. This is in a blue as well, so I'm going to sample this blue, use it. Atmosphere tuition. I'm not sure exactly the line breaks, but for speed I'm going to just do this. Okay, so let's sample what this blue is. So once again I'm going to use that right hand click. Remember, we're mirroring the WordPress site. So if you've got these colors to hand, you don't need to do this inspection stuff. Right hand click, inspect, find the blue out. I can see that my blue color is there. I'm going to copy that, jump back in the site, just throw this up. And drop that in there. Come across to the gear icon. We've already got it because we sampled it just now. And then click save. How do I start? So this would obviously link to a different page. Inside the settings there, we're going to come across to here. Just put how do I start? Okay, so I think that's that block done, and we've got a 2 block here. With a background. Notice there's a background color behind here, but there's not background image, but there's not on this one. So I'm going to do it as another block. I've already got. One row, because it's one row here, yeah. we'll put it down here. I tend to move it, if I can't see it on screen, I tend to move it into levels. So that's converted that text, but it doesn't matter how. I support you. Purple color. And I'm going to throw in next 2 columns. So because I've got this row here, I'm going to click here, drop in 2, and just to make my life easy, take this, move it into the right row. So let's drop it in there. I'm guessing this size. I know it's slightly smaller. I'm going to put that in there. I think it's left justified, so I want to make sure that here the alignment is left. The correct color. So Carol's happy, that's good. You see, but you can see how quick this is being done. You know, it's just working through these blocks, working down. It's not a, obviously it's a bigger process when you start, but like I was saying in the last ZenStream, it's like once you've done these blocks, you can save them out and you can just reuse them in other parts of the sites. So generally, if you look at websites, they're done in a standard way. So you have blocks and the order of things like laid out. You don't have, like in a site, you very rarely get like 5 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block, 8 blocks on different pages. Normally they'll follow a style all the way through. So it'll either be a 2 column, you know, in certain colors, and people stick with those. So that means that's good for us because it means that we can just copy these blocks and use them in different pages and just change that content around. And you know, you've done that yourself, Carol, with the site. You've got this 2 block, 1 block pattern going throughout, and it makes life a lot easier for you. So when I say about the background image here, because you've got this background image, if you want to grab something similar or find something similar, I will find this background image for you because I can locate it. Oh look, I think I found it here. I think it's a duplicating image, but I think I can actually get that image from here. Oh, there it is. So that's handy. So I can say sometimes it's easy to grab images, sometimes it's not. So let's see if I put this in here. So I'm going to put that, save that to my desktop. I'm going to jump back into here. Now I can use that. Now what I do as a fallback color, I'll just choose a slightly offset color just in case that image doesn't load for some reason. At least you've got a different color going on. It's very subtle. And then I'll go in here and grab this background image now, and I can upload that. And there it is there. So I'm going to click. There we go, and I'm going to click upload with that crop inside there, and there we go. We've got that color coming in. It looks like you've got a tint over the top. If I look at that, it looks like there's a white tint. Well, lucky for us, we can put a white tint in. We can put an overlay. It's a bit strong, so I'm going to put a white. So notice it's really knocked back now. So I've got control there with that overlay to knock it back or to bring the color through. Do you see that? That's with white. So now we've got a real look. So yeah, Carol, yeah, I know I make it look easy. It's just because I've been doing this stuff for a long time. But all I say to you is just take it easy. You know, just take each block at a time. And like I said, once you've done it, you can reuse the blocks. You've got a Pro account, you can click Save Block As there, and then you can pick it. You'll have it appear down here in your custom blocks. So you can grab it and you can drag it straight in. And I'll be doing that at the end, just to show you, but we don't need to do it at this stage. So let me go and grab the text for this bit. And it looks like you've got, so where to start there. Okay. There. All right, to start. Let's go. Got that already. My services, where to start. I'd probably make that capital. Just looks better. Little things like that, especially with scripted fonts, be a little bit careful, and you know, look how it's shown, because that R doesn't really, like, what's that say, Sarge, Raj, you can't. So now with putting the R in there, you say my range of services is a lot easier to see. Now the problem is that because you're so close to this, Carol, sometimes you don't notice these things. So it's quite good if someone looks in. That's why it's quite good to share your page and things with the community, because they can go in and go, oh, that's not really visible, or that's too small, or that's too big. And they can give you some really good fast feedback, because they're fresh eyes. It's like we got Oanka in here today. Hi, Oanka. And she'll look at something differently to how you would look at it and go, oh, you know, if you did that, it would make it a bit clearer. And you've got this great group, our Facebook community, that really love to help each other. So they can really help you. It's like having your own kind of marketing squad, you know, that are on your side. So good. So we got that, we've done that, and that's that block done. So now we got this block here. So this is a three column block. And I should be able to save some of this off. We've got some nice little graphics. We can't upload our own little graphics in there. We could load an image in there, but you get funny things happening. So I'm just going to probably use a bullet list for that. These ones I'm going to save. So I'm going to save this image. So I'm going to right hand click. I'm going to save the image. And I'm going to call this, just so it's easier for me, I'm going to call it 1. I'm going to go save image here, right hand click. I'm going to call this 2. And this one I'm going to call 3. So save image and then 3. I can load them straight in. That should be good. All right. And all I need to do here is it the same block? Yeah, it is. I'm going to choose the row. It's sometimes a little bit tricky. There we go. And I'm going to choose 3. All right. Should be able to drop these all in. So I'm going to go add element image. I'm going to go upload image. We're going to go and find that image block 1. That's number 1. Let's just upload with that crop there. Bang, that'll appear in there. That's the first part done. Now, speed myself up. I'm all trying to teach you speed saving techniques. So like I've shown you a few times, clone it. So it just saves you going to those blocks. I'm cloning these out and I'm just going to swap the images over, which is going to be easy. So I'm just going to hit the gear icon, go across to settings, go into the image URL. I'm going to upload number 2. All right, so Carol's saying someone else designed the site. Okay, so you're just tweaking it. So right, good. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have their sites designed, and then it can be expensive, can't it, to rehire that designer to do it in Zenler. It costs you a lot of money. So if you're able to do it yourself easily like this, then it's great, because also you've done it yourself. So by doing it yourself, I always think it's really good, because you know exactly how you've put it together. And although it might be frustrating at first and spending extra time on it, once you've done it, you haven't got to hire anyone else to do this stuff, and that can save you a fortune. So inside here we have this bit's going on. So I'm going to copy this and we're going to, now I'm going to insert a list. Chuck a list in there. Go get it right. Bespoke. Okay, so for this, let me just check this font size and stuff. 18, Poppins regular 32. Okay, and the color of that, we're going to put it into that purple. Okay, now we've got a little option up here on choose icon. So let's throw in a little heart. Let's make that into the purple color there. Okay. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm not going to put the exact text in here because just for speed I'm going to just put it into the right colors. Got little buttons, so I'm going to go and grab a little button, just copy it. The other good thing about copying things is it means that you're keeping things consistent. So you haven't got to reset up any spacing, the font type, and all of these things. So it makes life a lot easier for you. There's one thing I want to show you just at the end because it's an alignment thing that I want to make sure that you're getting right. Is notice the blocks go up and down. We need to make sure under our row, because it could be different length content in here, that we actually align it vertically by the top. And then it will line up at the top, and that's probably the most important thing. So I'm going to jump in here, and I've got a question coming from Ellie, so and I've got Carol as well, so I'm just going to do this and then I'll answer them. Let's put that in there. Let's choose that orange color. Just use the base orange. If I want to match it exactly, obviously I would go and do a inspection of this. So I'd right hand click, I'd go to the inspector, and I would go in there, and then I would grab that color which is there to make sure it's exact. So that's how I would get it exact, but I think that's close enough. So we are on the same thing. Sometimes these columns jump around a little bit, so just if it's out of alignment, it might be because it hasn't quite jumped to the right drop space. All right. and sometimes when you move it the color will change. Hopefully in the new page builder that will be eliminated. Go. And of course I've done some big changes here. I want to make sure that I save the page, really important. So I'm going to have a look now. Carol's put question down here. I think someone else designed the site, tweak it. No, I've got Ellie. I'm thinking if it takes too much of my time to get it looking right, may not be a good use of time and maybe worth hiring someone. Yeah, exactly. You've got to, you know, this is where you get your quotes, isn't it? And then you decide, like, that's going to take me 3 or 4 days to do that, and if I pay someone a day rate and they can get it done in a day, then it's worth you doing that. As long as those, you know, just get, if you are hiring someone, especially if they're on the site or something, just get a price from them. Make sure you get it locked down, like, this is not going to change this price, this is what I'm paying for. You're going to replicate my site to the best of your ability, and make sure that you get that just signed off, because otherwise you might get price hikes coming in. Okay, because it can happen. You can look at something and go, oh, that's not right, and then they've got to, so you've got to, you know, the web designer's got to build a little bit of a buffer for themselves. Certainly I do, and I make it clear that the cost could be more, depending on if they make changes and they're not supplying me all of the information in one go. If I'm getting it in dribs and drabs, I don't want to keep stopping a project, then picking that project back up. That's time to me. I keep stopping and starting. I will significantly increase the price because of that. So it has to be clear, but as a designer I can look at this and know how long it would take me to do, and I would know a cost for it like that. Okay, so if you've got a good designer, that's what they should be doing for you. Right, slight little thing here. I'm going to just do the spacing here. So I'm going to move this spacing in left 10. Now, if you move spacing in left, make sure that you move it in right as well, because otherwise you can get things going offset in mobile devices. All right. So if you're making any kind of offset, padding, spacing, top and bottom, well, not so much top and bottom, but definitely left and right, make sure that you're doing it evenly. So think of it like balance. Okay. Even though you might not see any changes on this right hand side, when you go into a responsive view or something, it could shift over because there's no spacing on that side. So that's probably going to be my biggest tip of the day, guys, is that you make sure that everything's balanced. So if you've got padding one side, make sure it is the other side to compensate. Otherwise shifting can happen inside mobile devices. I see that all the time. Yeah, so Anchor said make sure they assign any copyright IP to you afterwards. Yeah, but also be careful here, because funny enough, if you get also if they've got any imagery that they're using, make sure you get the source of where they got it from. If they're using free stuff, that it's royalty free, or that they bought it and they supplied you with a license for it, because it's actually not the web designer's legal case. So if I used an image that was copyright and you paid me for it, they could come after you, not the web designer. So be careful of that as well. I see that a lot happening. So yeah, as Oenka says there, just make sure that everything's most of it's good, you know, but it's like this image of this heart in the background. I don't know where that's come from, you know. So be careful with these things, and just make sure. This is why I do things myself. So let me save that. Okay, we're moving forwards. So we got this little thing. I'm going to do something for you, Carol, but I'm not going to start setting up sliders in here. It takes me quite a long time to do this. Our blog, I think the format that we've already got for our blogs and things is pretty good anyway. You just might need to change that top part. We've kind of already done this as a one row and then a button down the bottom. Funny enough, you've got curved buttons there, and then down the bottom you got a square button. Okay, I'd avoid that. I'd keep that rounded as well, just as a little bit of info for you. So we got a newslettery bit down the bottom here, and this is quite good. We've got some social links going in here. It's basically 3 columns. and then a form in here. So let's do it. That's the kind of last main block we need to look at. So let me grab this block here. Okay, don't worry. Too much trouble. I'm going to drop an empty block in and do this last bit. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this full width. I'm going to make the color background here into this purple. Just going to have a look what we've got. We've got one row. I'm going to add a row, but this row is not going to contain, you'd think it's going to contain this. It's not. It's going to contain this curve. I'm doing it a little bit different to what we did in the first ZenStream, where I created a block at the top and block at the bottom. I was looking at it and I was like, do you know what? More efficient is to try and keep everything in the same blue block, mainly because I'm sharing the code with you and I don't want you grabbing like block there, block there, block there just to make one block when it can be done as one. So I changed the way that it was working. So when I went up here, what you're going to notice is this is actually one block, and I've put an image at the top and pushed it higher. This is what I'm going to do with this one. So it's easier to show you once I get it. So the first thing I need to do is take this is that padding, and move it up. And you're going to notice that if you mouse between here and here, it's going to give you that. And if you go right down the bottom of this, you can drag it up and it will still be there. It's quite fiddly, but we can move it so that we haven't got any space. So if I now click off with the mouse button, we've now got very little space there. So what I can do is I can click in here and I can add an image. The image I'm going to add is this top little piece here. See that? There it is. That's not exactly the right color, so I'll need to grab that other color swatch. But what I can do now is I can click in here and I can set this on a negative value. But before I do that, let me just show you what we've got so far. So I'm going to drop the text in here. I'm going to add a new row. But in that row, I'm going to put 3 columns. So I'm going to add a column, and I'm going to add another column. And then I'm going to put my text in there that we've got here. So I'm going to choose a bit of this text, duplicate it, and bring it down here somewhere. Okay. Let's throw it down here. Oh, come on, move. Right. Here. White. Changed. All right, let's leave it like that for now. Right, so now I've got that in there. I'm going to preview it and you're going to see what's going to happen. So hopefully this will be clear. This is all using negatives, okay? So if I preview this, when we come down the bottom, you're going to have this little bit down here. It's in the right font, but you're going to have this, which is kind of sitting there. It's in the wrong place. So we need to do a little bit of knocking up here. So I'm going to click in this part, and I'm going to click in the little gears there, and spacing top I'm going to put -30. It may be a little bit too much. I'm going to put -20. Okay, maybe a little bit too much. I'm going to go 15. That looks good. I want to be able to just see those icons in there. And on the spacing left and right, I'm going to put -20. Oh, that's the bottom. Actually, it doesn't matter. -20 in there. And a -20 in there. And I'm probably going to have to go to -25, I think. But we're going to see some changes here. So I'm actually pushing it outside those areas. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to click save. I'm going to check it. Let's refresh. Now, hopefully, the bottom here, we're going to have that curve. Do you notice that curve? Okay, so it's not in exactly the right color. I just need to go and sample this color in here. Scroll down the bottom, put it into that color. Which I think is that one there, but let's just put it in. Okay, good. That's correct. So I've done this full width. You notice these other blocks I haven't, but I still have control over this area because I can just widen this here. So I can make these blocks wider if I want anyway. Okay. So that means we can move forwards. So let's go here. So now we need three columns, but we need one for the side, the left, and one for the right. So that'd be 5, and that's an odd number, and that doesn't work for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 columns, and then inside the middle one, we're going to put another 3 column row, and that will give us what we need then. So let's click in here. Let's click in 3. And once that drops in, okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to spread this to the same width as that, and same width as that. Whoa, a little bit too much. Okay, and then inside here, I'm going to drop in another row of 3, and that's going to give me what I want. So I've got a row in a row. We did that before. And now I just need to add these extra bits. So I've got the latest post there. I'm going to save that. Let me just save that image. That's the latest post. Then you'd link to it. So let's go and grab a little bit of text here. Right, and you need the blank column on the outside to push it in. Otherwise, because what I'm trying to do is remain consistent. I want all my text to be aligned in the same position. If I don't have that control over left or right, it's going to go the full width. So it's going to be out of alignment. So whenever we're trying to do pages, we're trying to keep everything so that it doesn't go like this. It doesn't go all over the place and look down, because it looks odd. So if you've got copy that's like over that side, and then you've got some copy over that side, and then some in the middle, it just looks off balance. Remember, it's with any kind of design, it's all about balance. It's all about flow. Okay, so if you think of someone that's off balance, if they're like a ballerina, if they're doing a pose or they're jumping, they might look like they're off balance, but they're counterbalancing themselves. So then it looks balanced. So if you want to achieve a kind of off-center look, you've always got to make sure it's balanced up with something else. Otherwise, on a subconscious level, it will feel uncomfortable for you. Like watching someone fall over. You know they're going to fall over because you know that they're not balanced. With a ballerina who's actually doing a particularly hard move, or a gymnast, you don't feel uncomfortable. You'll be like, wow, but you know that they're in control and they're balanced, because inside it tells you that's what's happening. Okay, you can see that balance, the flow. You can see that their leg is countering, their hand being out the other way, and it's exactly the same with design. So you need that flow. So those blocks on the edge are used to control how far in and out we go. And if you stick to that with design, keeping something balanced, then you'll already be on a good path for this sort of stuff. So nice question as well. So let me put that in there. I'll drop that in there, and we're going to change that. And sometimes when you drop it, it changes the text, but it's still in playlist. If I close it and open it, probably be okay. So I don't know why it does that. It's just really strange. And I think, there's a few little buggy things that happen, and hence the reason we're changing the page builder, quite a lot, because there's been so many updates gone in on top of it that it's now ready for rebuild time. I can't wait. I was talking to Rakesh about it earlier, and we were talking about maybe doing a more regular live build, just showing every week, maybe showing every Friday or something, doing a live build, showing a different site, or showing you how to recreate a block. And we can't wait for the new page builder to come along, because it's even easier. It's really easy, and you'll have these themes that you can install as well eventually, and that will be so cool. This will be so good. So I'm going to change this to a center alignment, which you've got there. I'm going to duplicate this, and notice also, Carol, that I'm using the same size. Notice a slightly smaller size font, but it's the same as what I had above. If you look at your site on here, these are different sizes compared to different areas. So I'm pretty sure that this is a different size to this. So I always try and keep things consistent and use 3 or 4 different sizes, and then just keep those the same. Again, it just makes your life easier. You don't have lots of sizes changing throughout your site. So let's put this here, like so. And now we have our lovely little logo to go in there. It's perfect. In there. Go to image. I already downloaded it. There it is. Nice little image in there. We got our little socials. I'm just going to put some text in there for that. One thing I'm definitely going to do is make sure that the vertical height is top. And most important thing I think here is the form. So let me take this text and just use it as a copy block. Okay, 2 seconds, guys. If I'm getting slow down, I shut the page down. I did this once before, I think. Let me click open again. It should open. Oh, okay, Carol. So you're using MailerLite form embed, so you can embed the code in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a simple form inside Zenler, or it's just a capture. So if you're using it for people, so that you can send a newsletter out, you can do that all through Zenler. So I'll just drop a form in there from Zenler, and you can obviously use an HTML block. I can show you that quickly. Let me just go. Take a bit of this. There it is. Just use this almost like a little bit of dummy text putting in here. By the way, a little tip here, if you don't want to keep scrolling up and dropping it all over the place, press Control minus on the keyboard. What this will do then is reduce this all down and means that you can grab these blocks easier. So, little top tip for you. Okay. And then when you're finished, you can press Control and 0 and it will make the browser window bigger again. So Control 0 makes it bigger. Okay. So let's drop in a little form here. I know, right, so if you're embedding a MailerLite embedded form, you want to click the plus and you want to go across to custom and you want to click that in there and that will drop a custom HTML block. So you're going to click the settings now, you're going to go change content and you're going to drop your MailerLite code directly in there, Carol. Okay, and that will give you that work like the same as you've done for the WordPress site. You should just better use that. In MailerLite, okay, WordPress has got a plugin for it. So in MailerLite, you'll have the option to embed form. Just grab that embed code, drop it in there, and then it will appear inside here as that little form. Okay. However, I'm going to show you how to do it in Zenler, and I'm going to tag it as well. So if I tag them, I'll know that they've come in and filled out the newsletter, and then I can send it straight out from Zenler, which is what I do. So I'm going to click the plus there. I'm going to go across the form. I'm going to click form. We're going to say what information do we want from them. Do we want the name? Yeah, I'm going to say name or email. Email's obviously most important. So now I'm going to click this little form block in here, and where we've got that little side bit that pops out, I'm going to go across to settings and I want to make this required. Okay, so first name is required. They've got to fill it out to be able to get newsletter. Then I'm going to click the gear icon for the email, and I'm going to also make sure that that's required. It's the most important thing. And finally, I'm going to click the submit button. What have you put for yours? You've put sign up. Okay, so we'll use sign up and we'll use I'm going to change it a little bit. You've got a square one going on there, and I actually just want an outline rounded one because it matches the rest of your site. So let's now change this text color to white, and spacing, that's all right. Border color, I want that white, a bit bolder, so I'm going to check that border thickness, maybe make it 2. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to go sign up here. Sign up. And I'm going to tag them, so I know they'll come in as leads when they submit this form. Okay, they'll come in as leads, so I want to tag them because you might have leads coming in for a funnel, you might have them coming in, you know, I don't know, you might have them just coming in as leads, you might import them in as leads, I don't know. But the thing is that they would just be leads. You wouldn't know where they come from. So by tagging them in each of the forms, and this is what I do for every form or funnel, I tag everything so that I know where they've come in to my site. So for this one, I would put newsletter, and then I put page. I put hyphen page because that way I know that they've come in the newsletter page on that little block that I've got set up. And that tells me that, so they'll be tagged as leads. Then when I create my newsletter to send out to all my people, you know, or just them, because you're trying to convert them from leads to a sale, then you can filter them on newsletter P and just send it to those ones. So that will be very good for you. The last thing I want to do is I want to do a little bit of a change to the padding and stuff, because I always think there's just too much padding on this and it just annoys me a little bit, so I'm going to bring it down. That's better to me. Also that size of that is maybe a little bit big, but I think on your one it's quite big as well. But I think I'd like to reduce it down a little bit, so I might make it 19. If you want to, because you've got all these styles, you can make it bold. And that looks quite nice. All right, that looks good. And click save. So final bit, of course, you know, add a bit more, change that text if you like. You would link to your latest post in here, latest blog post. Grab it from. And yeah, you could add that if you want to as well. So that. It's gone a bit weird. I think in this case you'd bring it down. And you could drop your socials in there, so you could drop thing in there, links to that. You get the idea. So that's how that's done. Let's preview it now. This is that bottom block. And let's hit refresh. And there we go. We've got a lovely bottom block there. Pretty much mirroring what you've got here. And that is it. So finally, if you want to save these blocks out, you can select the block. So we're selecting a blue block here, and then at the top of that block you've got this little button, and you could put how I support. And now if you've got another page, you can just drop it in there. So let me just refresh this page a second, and that block will appear inside of our blocks, which allows you to just drop it wherever you like. Okay, so down here we have a custom block now, and you're going to see that custom block is in there. So if I dragged it into here, or if I was on another page entirely, that block's just going to appear. So then this gives you the basis to go and change that text, colors, backgrounds, these bits out, and it becomes very, very quick to change these things over once you have them all designed. So guys, I hope that is of use to you. I'm going to be sending this. Carol, can I ask you a favour? Can you PM me? If you want me, I can put this into a page directly in your site, or I can send you the block code. PM me, I will send you a whole pack with this stuff together, and also how to install it yourself. But if you want me to install it in your page, which will take me, I'll just create a template page. It will take me literally 10 minutes just to drag this code across onto your site. Then I don't mind doing that for you, Carol. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. I do have a message coming from on our YouTube channel, and I've got Suman who says, I've prepared something for mine earlier to this video. If you have time, please can you look and see if it gets some advice from me. So I don't mind. Suman, go on to the Facebook group, post the link in there, and well, PM me. Don't post the link, PM me, and I don't mind having a look. We're going to do more of this stuff. So guys, if you stay tuned to it, you guys that are watching this, right, I've already got, our anchor's already doing some bits with me, okay, she's good. Ellie, if you need help, or you want something looked at with your site, or how you can change things, you know, reach out to me, let me know. Right, so Ellie said, okay, so this is a good question. So once you have this finished, does it replace the home page in the current site? That's a really good question. Okay, so I want to explain this to you. So we've done this build for this page and we're happy with it, okay? But we've been working on inside the site, we've been working on this as a page. So generally what I do when I'm working on this kind of page is I don't keep it published, I keep it unpublished. This way is not accidentally going to be found by search engines when it's an unpublished page. I am logged in as admin, so if I click inside here I can see this page, okay? But because it's unpublished, if I go into incognito mode and we try to view this page, it's going to come up with oops, can't be found, okay, because it's not published. So what I do is I create a template page. Look at these template pages that I've created. Look, none of them apart from that one is published. They're all unpublished. They're all different styles of things, and this means that I can work on it, I can refine it, I can get it perfect. When I'm happy, I don't tend to just go, and I know a lot of you are going to do this, a lot of you are going to go home page, they're going to publish that page, go there, then you're going to make it live in there. No, what you should do is you should actually replace it. So if I've got my home page, which is here, I will make a duplicate of it like this. Make a duplicate. Okay, when the duplicate loads here, it's copy. I'll go in here and I'll put old home, okay, and then maybe put the date 2nd 3rd 2024, then click save. That way I know in there that that was my old one, and then what I will do is I will then copy the code blocks live to my home page. So I've got a copy of it here. I've always got this template page that I can refer back to and tweak. I can go into my page now, I've created it, and just drop those blocks in there. So that's definitely what you should be doing, okay? Because if you go, you might forget something. If you set your home page up nicely, you've got SEO and all these things, and you go and just flip the page over to another page, it might cause problems. So I like to make a copy, so I'm not going to lose it. I've got this copy here, and then I can use this and I can copy that code, all those code blocks back. When I'm copying a lot of code blocks, I don't save the blocks out. I basically go over here, I copy the code and I paste it straight on top of the old block. That's a quicker way of doing it. That's what I would do with Carol's. If she lets me in the site, I'll just go boom, 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 and replace those blocks out, because that's the quickest way of doing it, rather than saving the block, going in, finding the custom blocks on the left, dragging them into the page. You know, this all takes time. I'm bothered with that. I can just like hit replace code, put it in there. If I make a mistake, I've got the copy, I can just grab the code and put it back over the top. It's not a big problem. Should really take you 10 minutes once you've built all this out, you know, 10-15 blocks, 10 minutes to replace that code across all those sites. So you'll literally be dun 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 when someone next goes there, or even whilst they're there, the block will just change. So it's almost an instant thing. All right, good questions. So it's really good to see you guys back here, Carol, Ellie, and Oenka, and anyone else that's watching. Have a great day. That is us finished. We're going to bring this back to you with another ZenStream, maybe page build, maybe funnel build, might be good. Find a good funnel and then we'll just replicate it. Really, what we're doing here with these page blocks, you do exactly the same way for funnels. And that's what I really love about Zenler, is this ability to be able to go use the same skills that you've got for the page building part in every other aspect of the site, including lives. So if you're setting up lives, you know you've got those pre-made blocks, but you can replace those with your own content. You know, you can add to them. All the sales pages, course access pages, all use the page builder in exactly the same way. We are bringing out the new page builder, which is like jet propulsion page builder, and that's going to be even better for actually creating stuff. You're still going to have this infinite control over spacing and all of these things if you need it, but they're only if you need it. If you don't need them, you can just drag and drop things around in a much more intuitive way. We think Zenler is the most intuitive for building pages, but we've gone even further with the making it intuitive and making it quick as well. So all these things on top of each other are going to add to something that's really, really, truly remarkable, I think, and really push the boundaries of these course platforms for sure. I think ours is going to be way ahead once we get the community and the new page builder dropped in with all the features that are going to build on top of it. It's going to be just amazing. So guys, have a great weekend. Remember, we have a workshop running 1 hour before this one started, and it's going to be running at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's Howard. He's back. He's got a new book out. He's going to be sharing some top tips with you. He's just moved from Shanghai to Portugal, so he's in our time zone now, and he wants to do this, and he always gets... The thing about Howard is, like, because what he wants to do is get you on camera, and he wants for you to be almost a little bit uncomfortable, because then you're pushing yourself for presentation skills. He will bring out the best in you if you're committed and you just say, right, just, you know, whatever he's telling me to do, I'm going to do on camera, and it will bring out the best in you. And remember, it's for free as well, the workshop. So guys, lovely to see you. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Orenka. Thanks for your support, and I'm glad you found this useful. It's really nice that I was able to build actually one of you guys things, and I didn't, because I could have grabbed the Tony Robbins one, but I think it's a really good idea that I'm actually helping you guys, because we're killing two birds with one stone, and you're learning along the way as well. So fabulous. See you later. Take care, and see you guys on YouTube as well.